She posed for Playboy but was left out of an obituary. Jessica Hahn felt like a cartoon character after the Jim Bakker scandal, but not for the reason you'd think. Jim Bakker built a televangelist media empire. The foundation behind it all was his PTL show, which he co-hosted with his wife, the late Tammy Faye Bakker. Within a few years, the Bakkers were living the high life with fancy cars and a Christian-themed theme park. But it all came crashing down, likely due to a phone call. As investigative reporter Charles Shepard describes it, I fielded this call from someone who turned out to be Jessica Hahn, telling us that something had happened between her and Jim Bakker. According to CNN, Jessica Hahn alleged that Jim Bakker had drugged and sexually assaulted her in December 1980 when she was a 21-year-old church secretary. Further still, as the Daily Mail adds, Bakker had allegedly paid Hahn in hush money to keep it secret. At the end of the day, Bakker, who claimed the sex act with Hahn was consensual, would be sentenced to 45 years in prison on not just one, but multiple criminal counts.
On my show, no one is going to mention adultery, blackmail, missing funds, drug-induced psychosis, or getting booted from the PTL.
He would later see that sentence reduced. As of July 2022, Bakker is once again in the televangelism industry, albeit on a much smaller scale, hosting his ministry from Branson, Missouri. There's a saying in the celebrity industry that someone achieves fame not because of any real talent or achievements, but for being in the right or wrong place at the right or wrong time, or also through the sheer force of marketing. Jessica Hahn had no real claim to fame other than being the focal point of a juicy and salacious sex scandal. She then turned that into a lengthy career of squeezing every ounce of money and fame out of it as she could. She famously dated comedian Sam Kinison and even appeared in his Wild Thing video. She posed for Playboy on several occasions and made multiple appearances on The Howard Stern Show well into the 2000s, nearly 20 years after her star should have dimmed. She also took bit parts in TV shows and was in 2 long-term relationships, the second of which appears to be ongoing. Jessica Hahn's first long-term relationship was with Married with Children TV producer and creator Ron Levitt. In 2005, she discussed how Levitt helped her get into acting via CNN, saying, "He was the first man that took a chance with me on Married with Children. Nobody would hire me for TV, not that they should. And he said, 'Jessica, come on in and audition.' Things later progressed, and as Hahn describes it, on the last day of my shoot, he said, 'Jessica, come on, how about a cup of coffee, maybe some dinner?' And he was a complete gentleman, and we've been together 15 years, and I have never been more in love in my life." Hahn's relationship with Levitt ended with his death in 2008. The LA Times famously neglected to mention Hahn at all in his obituary. In 2017, reports indicated that Hahn had married Frank Lloyd. According to an IMDb profile bearing his name, Lloyd was a stunt performer with his latest credit dated in 2014. In 2017, the Charlotte Observer, the newspaper that originally broke the story that brought down the Jim Bakker empire and solidified Hahn's place in popular culture, revisited the story of the woman who, 30 years earlier, started it all. As Hahn told the newspaper via Get Religion, she felt like she didn't make the best choices in the years following the Bakker scandal, telling them her choices turned her into something of a, quote, cartoon character. Hahn appears to still be invested in Christianity, despite her complicated relationship with the religion, saying, "God is still the first and most important thing in my life, the only person I really talk to. I still believe in God more than ever. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't his mess." As of 2017, Hahn was largely staying out of the public eye, preferring instead a quiet life of anonymity with her husband.